Hi there, welcome to another chapati recipe video from Diverse Dishes and Lifestyle. So this is carrot chapati. So it's very beautiful and it's tasty, and this chapati is very soft. So I'll get right started with the recipe. So we're gonna start by grating the carrot. I just prepared 3 carrots here to grate. And you're gonna use the side of the grater that gives you small pieces of carrot so that it integrates well into the flour. So I am done grating the carrot here. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Yep. So set it aside, and then the next step, of course, is to measure the flour. So I'm using all-purpose flour, and I'm measuring 6 cups here. As you can see, the tops are flattened because you do not want to measure excess flour. Add on half a tablespoon of salt and whisk it to combine with the flour. Once you're done doing that, now add your carrot into the flour. So I'm adding 2 cups of carrot, basically all the carrot that I grated. And then use something sturdy, something strong like a spatula to just mix in the carrot into the flour. You want to do this before you add oil, just so your carrot is well coated with the flour and it integrates well. And when you knead the dough, the carrot is gonna be it's gonna hold on to the flour better when you mix it in this way. Of course, you could also boil and blend or puree your carrot and add it in, but I like this better because I like the orange speckles in the flour. Now I've added about quarter cup of cooking oil, and then I'll be using warm water. Just add a little at a time. I think you will need about 500 ml of water for this dough to be the right consistency, but add that a little at a time just so you don't add too much. And when you see the consistency is right, just go ahead and set aside the remaining water. So this is the good consistency for this dough. It's a bit on the soft side. And then I added a little more a little more cooking oil to keep the chapati soft. Otherwise, it will be chewy. So I like to add the second amount of oil at that stage. Knead the dough until it's ready, and then cover it and let it rest for about 15 minutes or even more. And then let's go ahead and put layers on our chapati. So just get the dough out. As you can see, it's very soft dough. I know you can make your dough a little firmer than this, but don't keep it too firm because your chapati is going to be tough and chewy. I like to keep my chapati dough really soft. Yeah. So I'm dividing it into two just because this my surface is smaller, but you don't have to do this if you have a bigger surface. So go ahead and roll this dough out into a very wide chapati, and then onto that we will be applying some cooking oil and then sprinkling flour so that we create layers on our chapati. There's another way to do this where you deal with one small roll of chapati at a time, but I feel like this saves time because you get to do the whole step together and then just cut the roll up into small, into chapati sizes. Yeah, so you could spread this oil with your hand, or you could use a basting brush like I did here. Sprinkle some flour, and it's gonna kind of keep the layer, introduce layers into your chapati by keeping the dough from sticking back together when you roll it. Yeah, so go ahead and roll that up neatly so that your layers actually do form well. So just like I'm doing in this video, just roll the dough up and be gentle with it so that it doesn't stretch too much, because you want to keep that shape so that you can cut the chapati into equal sizes. So it's time to cut the chapati into equal sizes. I made, I think, 7 out of this. You can decide to cut larger chapatis or smaller chapatis. It's okay. And then go ahead and shape those into round circles so that later on you will roll this out into chapati. Awesome. So I will just go ahead and prepare the rest. Just tuck in the loose ends, make sure it's round. It will make your work easier later. Okay. As I do the second one, I just wanted to mention that so I add carrot to chapati. I would say there are many reasons. So this carrot chapati is very soft and moist. The carrot adds moisture into the chapati, and then of course the flavor is going to be better. And also, if you want to talk nutrients, then you definitely get the bonus nutrients from the carrot. So it's a nice way to like add a bit of cuteness to chapati. That really works well. So go ahead and roll this second batch of chapati up as well. And just like we did with the first one, make sure your rolls are neat and also handle it gently just because the dough is relaxed at this point and any kind of pulling would stretch it too much. So again, cut this into equal sizes. This should also give me 7 chapatis. Um, the other one also gave me 7 chapatis, by the way. So this is the whole batch of chapati that we are making today. Just keep them, lay them out on a tray like I did here and keep them covered so that they don't dry out. Now I'm going to show you how to roll about 2 chapatis and then we'll move on with cooking. So use the flour sparingly. You don't want the chapati to be too dusty. So I don't know how you roll your chapati, but I kind of keep flipping it back and forth and changing the position until I have a wide enough and thin enough chapati. So like I mentioned in my other chapati videos as well, keep your chapati quite thin but not translucent thin. If you keep it too thick, it's gonna be chewy, especially on the inside. Um, so a nice level of thinness is gonna ensure that it cooks well. But also, if it's too thin, there are chances it will not retain as much moisture and it will dry out. So looking at this, it looks ready. I'm going to set this aside and then roll the second one just to show you again. It's gonna be a little quicker. So again, sprinkle the flour and go ahead and roll your chapati. Depending on the type of rolling pin you're using, you just make sure you have control on your rolling pin. See, I'm not using the thin ends, I'm using the top side of the rolling pin. Um, it's different when you're rolling a dough, for other things like pies where you can shape it later. For this chapati, you want to make sure your chapati is already well shaped from the word go. So make sure you have a good control on the rolling pin and you will achieve your round chapatis without, much struggle. Although I would say this comes with practice as well. But don't worry too much about the shape. I usually say that the taste and the texture are what matter the most because you can roll these chapatis up later, like you saw in my thumbnail. So those shapes do not matter anymore. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's move on with cooking. Um, Again, one thing I usually like to point out here is that make sure the heat is just right, not too low and not too high. Um, and once you place on your chapati, let it set and then flip it over and start applying oil. Apply oil very minimally at this stage because you don't need much anymore. You've already added oil that ensures softness of the chapati. So this one is just to help it cook and kind of get crispy on the outside. So if you're using a spoon to scoop your oil, just make sure you're scooping not too much. And my heat here is between medium and medium high. Um, yeah, rotate your chapati as you cook. Make sure it cooks uniformly. Some stoves tend to have more heat on one side than the other, but also just rotating makes it, I don't know how to say it, but it cooks uniformly. Yeah. So as you can see, those brown spots are looking good, and it's done on the second side as well. So we're just gonna take this one out, and I'll cook the second one as well, and then we'll move on to other things. Um, yeah, again, after I set, flip it over, apply oil, same procedure. It gets really easy as you make chapati over and over. And when I'm not recording these videos, I usually just make my chapati with two pans. I have another pan on another um, section of the stove, on another burner, and I just move really fast in making my chapati. Um, That's also mostly ready. Your chapati will rise a little bit as it cooks because of the layers we introduced earlier, and that's usually a good thing. See, it folds easily, although it's gonna fold more later after we let the chapatis, we let the moisture work through them as they pile up. They're gonna fold much more easily. So this is the chapati that I made. As they pile up, you can see how beautifully yellow orange they look. um it's really nice chapati. It's beautiful chapati. So when you make this, I'm sure you will love it too. So cover your chapati when it's done, and yeah, here's our batch. So now let's take a final look just to show you what it all looks like, all the way down there. And then, like I said, now the chapati is more moist because the moisture has been working through the pile. And see how easily it folds now. And the dough was soft, so of course this chapati is also very soft. You can fold it, you can roll it up, you can like do anything you want with it. It's really easy to present it because it has the right texture and a beautiful color. I love cute food, and I think this chapati is really cute. See how easily it tears, and those layers, you can see them even though they're not as prominent, but you can still see the layers, which is important. So you can enjoy this chapati as a vegetarian dish. You can serve it with meat or other plant proteins like lentils, green grams, and beans. So at this point, I just rolled up my chapati and placed them on the larger platter so I could take my thumbnail pictures, just to show you, an idea of how you could present your chapati too. So I think that looks really beautiful. And make this for your family dinner or when you have a get together, and have people enjoy chapati, carrot chapati. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Thank you and bye bye.